Hey everybody, it's Sam here from sugarspunrun.com, and today I'll be showing you how to make my favorite chicken tortilla soup. I am so excited to be sharing today's chicken tortilla soup recipe with you because as soon as I finish this recipe, I'm going to be eating it for dinner. This has recently been one of my favorite soups, one of my favorite dinners to eat. It's so full of flavor and it's so surprisingly easy to make. If you're ready to get started, you're going to want to grab a large pot. I'm using a Dutch oven, and we'll place this on our stovetop. To this pot, we are going to add 5 strips of bacon that we've cut into small pieces. Now, if you don't eat bacon, I do have a substitute. You can actually melt a little bit of butter instead. I've left instructions for that in the recipe in the description below. Once we've added our bacon, we're going to turn our stovetop heat to about medium heat, and we're just going to cook this bacon until it's completely cooked and browned. Once that bacon is cooked, we're going to need a paper towel lined plate, and we're going to remove the bacon to the plate, where we're going to set it aside for later. Now you should have some bacon grease remaining in the pot. We're actually going to cook our vegetables, our onion and pepper in this bacon grease. Now I usually like to leave about 1.5 tablespoons. If you have more than that, you can drain it off. But if the bottom has like a shallow covering of grease, that's usually a good amount. So this is looking pretty good. So I'm going to add 1 cup of chopped yellow onion. I'll also add 1 cup of chopped red pepper and 1 finely chopped jalapeno. Now I've removed just about all the seeds from this jalapeno. We'll continue to cook our peppers and our onion. You want to stir occasionally over medium heat until they're translucent. This is going to take about 3 to 5 minutes. Once those are looking nice and translucent, we're going to add some garlic. You'll need 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. This is usually about 4 to 5 cloves of garlic for me. Make sure to stir this frequently. You're just going to cook until the garlic is fragrant. That's only going to take about 30 seconds. Once our garlic is cooked, we are going to add 3.5 cups of low sodium chicken stock. Along with a 14-ounce can of fire-roasted diced tomatoes, a 10-ounce can of mild enchilada sauce, and you can substitute homemade enchilada sauce if you prefer. We'll add a 14-ounce can of rinsed and drained black beans, 1 cup of frozen sweet corn, a 7-ounce can of diced green chilies, and now we're going to add our spices, which are going to give our chicken tortilla soup such a great flavor. We're going to start with 1 tablespoon of chili powder. I like to use a blend of regular and ancho chili powder, but just 1 of either of those will be fine. We'll also add just a teaspoon of sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of cumin, a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper. We'll stir everything together really well, and now we're going to add our chicken. You'll need 3 cups of shredded chicken for this chicken tortilla soup. I like to use a rotisserie chicken that I've picked apart, but I do have a really simple recipe for shredded chicken that you can make in your crock pot. I'll leave the link to that in the description below. We'll add this to our pot and stir everything together again until it's really nicely combined. We're actually going to reduce our heat to medium-low or maybe just a notch above low, and we're going to continue to simmer this for another 30 minutes. So while our chicken tortilla soup is simmering, this is a great time for us to make our tortilla strips. So what you're going to need is 8 to 10 corn tortillas, and we're actually going to take these over to a cutting board. Now we're going to cut these up into strips that are about 1/4 inch wide by about 2 inches long. I like to use a pizza cutter to do this, and I'm actually going to break the stack in half and do about half at a time. I guess mine are a little bit more like 1/4 to 1/2 inch wide. Just try to keep your slices around the same size so they cook evenly in the oven. So I've placed all of my corn strips onto a Silpat lined baking sheet. If you don't have Silpat, you can use parchment paper instead, that'll be fine. And I'm just going to drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. And we'll sprinkle our strips with a little bit of kosher salt as well. I'm just going to use a spatula to turn these around until all of the strips have a little bit of that oil and salt on them. And you want to make sure they're evenly spread out over the baking sheet. Now we'll take these corn strips over to our 415-degree Fahrenheit preheated oven, where they will need to bake for about 8 to 10 minutes or until they're lightly golden. You may need to take these out from the oven, stir them around a little bit to make sure that everything's getting cooked evenly, and return them to the oven. You just want them to be nice and crisp and lightly golden. So with our tortilla strips prepped, our chicken tortilla soup has just about finished simmering at this point, so let's head back over to the stove top. As I mentioned, I like a really creamy, hearty soup, so we are actually going to add another ingredient now that we're just about ready to serve our soup. I'm going to add 4 ounces of cream cheese to the soup. Now you can skip this if you don't like a creamy soup, but it really, not only does it give it such a great flavor, it gives it such a good texture too. Whether you do or don't add the cream cheese, you are going to want to add 1 tablespoon of freshly squeezed lime juice. It's going to give your soup such a good flavor. Now just stir everything together really well and just keep on stirring until that cream cheese has melted. It might take a minute. As you might have seen, I cut mine into cubes. That's just going to help it melt into the soup faster. Finally, once our soup is ready to serve, you're going to want to add that bacon back into the pot just for some good flavor. At this point, our chicken tortilla soup is ready to eat. Make sure that you top your soup off with plenty of those tortilla strips that we prepared earlier. And dinner is as easy as that. Now, I also love topping off my chicken tortilla soup with cilantro and avocado and sour cream and cheese. You can top yours off with whatever you would like. I know I'm going to go eat this now, so I hope you guys will try this one out at home. And if you enjoy this recipe, please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hey, if you guys enjoyed today's chicken tortilla soup recipe, I would really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and please hit that notification bell. Also, if you enjoyed today's recipe, here are a few others you might like as well.